Today I'm talking about a movie with possibly the longest title in cinema history. That's right, I'm talking about Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Now, was it a raptor or just a little sparrow? Let's find out. Welcome back to Featured Films. My name is Joe. Again, we're talking about Birds of Prey, and I'm just going to call it Birds of Prey from here on out because the full title is real long, and pretty much every movie theater I've seen and everywhere online is just calling it Birds of Prey, so we're just going to call it Birds of Prey. This movie is, in my opinion, just fantastic. From like cinematography to music to the cast. This movie was visually really nice. It's bright and colorful, but also at times gets kind of dark, but it keeps this vibrance about it that just carries throughout the whole movie. The movie's kind of, as I would describe it, very whimsical. It's just bright and colorful and quirky, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. At one point in time, there's a scene where some action's going on, bit of a fight scene, and then all of a sudden, Harley Quinn shows up with roller skates on, and like you're like, as the viewer, you're like, what? Where? When did she? How? Like, why is she in skates? And then they actually, like, one of the characters says, when did she have time to make a shoe change? They actually like pointed out they're very just kind of like comical about everything. It's really nice and uplifting, and it's not taking itself super serious like Batman vs Superman did. This movie is a little disjointed in the beginning. They do a lot of flashbacks. Like they'll like have something play out, and then they'll be like, oh, how did I get here? And then they'll go back and explain and catch it back up, and they do that like 3 or 4 times, and it definitely in the beginning throws you off. You eventually get used to it, and I think they try to use it to make you like kind of get in the mind of Harley Quinn, to where it's very disjointed and jumpy, and you know, she's very weird and kind of psychotic, but it definitely throws you off in the beginning. And that's really my only major gripe. I mean, the music in this was phenomenal. The acting I thought was really good. There's a lot of characters, so they had to kind of do the best they could with giving everyone all these new stories, and they did really good for what they had. There's Margot Robbie, who's obviously Harley Quinn. You'll know her from things like Wolf of Wall Street, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I, Tonya, and also Suicide Squad. There's, little flashbacks for Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Huntress. You'll know her from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Gemini Man, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Explain how she got to here, and they explain how Journey Smollett Bell playing Dina Lance, aka Black Canary, got there, and that she's been working in this bar for a while. And you'll know her from roles in True Blood, Friday Night Lights, and The Great Debaters. And they touch on Rosie Perez playing the character Renee Montoya. I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff lately, but she was in Do the Right Thing, Fearless, and White Men Can't Jump. And the problems she's been having in The Precinct, like they go through all this stuff. We've also got Ewan McGregor, who's playing Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask. He obviously will be known for playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. He was in Moulin Rouge, Trainspotting, Fargo, and most recently in Doctor Sleep. And in this movie, he's this just ruthless gangster tyrant trying to slowly build up a big criminal network, and he is just unhinged. He's he gets more and more violent as the movie goes, and he's already crazy and violent and loves cutting people up and just humiliating people, and he is just power mad, and he's kind of simple. He doesn't have like some sort of crazy like moral dilemma. He's just like evil through and through, so he's not meant to be like, related to, kind of how Thanos was or anything. He's just this cruel monster that loves being violent, and he's out to basically, prove his dad wrong, because his dad kicked him off their family fortune, and so now he's just kind of turned to crime, and he is just sinister in this movie. Like, he's weird and like goofy, and then he's just so eccentric, but just this evil, awful guy. At the beginning of the movie, you find out that, Harley Quinn and Joker had split up. They're not together anymore. And so, being the evil guy he is, he turns his sights on her because she's not under the Joker's protection, and everyone kind of fears him. So, he starts going after her, and then she kind of makes a deal with him because he's looking for this diamond, and the diamond ends up leading them to another character, to Cassandra Cain, who's actually played by Ella J. Basco. And she's been in pretty much nothing. You'll know her from like really small roles in episodes of Veep and also in Grey's Anatomy. And then to round out the cast, there is a little henchman role, kind of the right-hand man to Ewan McGregor's character, played by Chris Messina. The character's name is Victor Saz, and you'll know him from Argo and also the Mindy Project.
Go to hell.
They're not just very flat characters, as I've heard some people say. There's actually a lot of depth to these characters. They do a good job of making you feel stuff for these characters. You actually feel really bad for Harley Quinn in this movie, which I'm not like a huge DC Joker Harley Quinn fan, but like this movie was really good. I was expecting, similar to, Suicide Squad, maybe a little bit better because Wonder Woman and Aquaman have been better, but it was even beyond Wonder Woman and Aquaman in my opinion. It was lighthearted and fun, but also was an R rating, so there was a lot of like violence and action, and they used that R rating and did some really weird stuff, which I loved. And the like action was really well choreographed. I was truly impressed with it. They did all kinds of quirky little things, lots of kind of like prop usage. Like there's just things all over, and they're always bringing stuff in to add into the scene. It was really fun. But the major thing that like struck me was how good the music was. This music, they had a lot of like covers and things. There was covers of Hit Me With Your Best Shot and It's a Man's World, and those two songs themselves were just stellar. But like the music through the whole thing, the tone of everything was just so good. You felt stuff. You felt torn. You felt anger. You were drawn in by it. You were excited. Everything was like awesome. The action was well punctuated with like good music that kept the pace up. The movie did have a problem where towards the end is whenever all the characters kind of come together in a sort of like Avengers like moment, and they kind of even played that off, and it was used kind of tongue-in-cheek and made fun of the Avengers and those superhero team-up movies. It was really funny. but they didn't get there, but they did build to it, and the third act does pay off in this movie. It feels really good that everyone kind of teaming up, and that like I said, the action is really well choreographed, so they're like going around a room. Things aren't like choppy and quick and you're missing stuff. It's well spaced out. It looks awesome, and they had alluded to things like earlier in the movie that pay off later on, and I had so much fun. I was laughing through the whole movie. I was cringing from just the stuff that happened, all the action and violence, but I would definitely want to see this again. Like, it was so good. It's probably the only DC movie like I really want to see again. I mean, I've seen a couple of them a few times, but this one, like, I actually want to sit down and rewatch. It was well directed, well shot. Like I said, the color choices, it makes it unique and fun. The characters are all weird and hilarious. Huntress steals the third act. She's hilarious and just awkward and fun. Like, I haven't heard anyone complain about her character. It's hilarious. And so I hope we get to see more of her. Black Canary's character is really badass. She's kind of down and, depressed and just not excited about anything in life and hates everything. But she's got like this good heart, and it comes through and really pays off by the end of the movie. And I just want so much more of this. I can't wait to see, what they're going to do. I hope everyone goes and sees this, because my theater was virtually empty. It was me, my friend, and then I think like 4 other people, two groups of 2, and so it was really empty and blank. But it could possibly have been because of weather, because it snowed here and people didn't want to go out and the roads were terrible. But the movie's excellent. I definitely recommend going to see it. Again, thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing. It all means so much. If you aren't subscribed, definitely subscribe down below. The link's gonna be, it's me like down there. Yeah, click it, help me out, share this, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the movie. I definitely would like to know what you guys thought, what your favorite part was, what you didn't like. And again, you have a great day.